don't see myself on our little confidence monitor. I have no confidence. We'll find out soon.
Yeah, I tried to hook that up and it didn't.
No, I'm looking at a really interesting screen though. So here we are, live after our standard Monday night recording here at the Beard Cave. We'll talk about some things we recorded tonight. Talk about some upcoming things, some other, I don't know, good news for me at least. Assuming that we're live.
We're live, I'm just not finding I don't know why that happens sometimes. It's not finding the Google.
Yes, Brian Landreth tonight, the show brought to you by the King of D. Although it's probably A. Yeah.
So my neighbor just texted me like 4 minutes ago.
Told us to turn it down.
And with a video of the Kemper. And he's telling me I should check it out. Because I know you're not sold on these, but there are thousands of tones in the library. You should check it out.
Now, I have a question for you. We always talk about that our phones are listening, right? And there is a Amazon device somewhere nearby as well. Is it connected to your neighbor's house? Because literally the conversation we had 25 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, was I don't mind the Kemper stuff. I don't mind the modeling stuff. But it is going to be outdated quicker than an analog pedal or a drive pedal or this carbon copy delay that's here. Like, we literally just talked about that. Like,
right.
You brought up, which I thought was a brilliant point. Like, it's great for now, and you take all the time to learn it and know it, and then next week it's like yesterday's news. Or you keep getting the updates or whatever. But how ironic
it's the pod. Like, look at the little kidney bean shape, right?
Sure.
Like, that was all the rage. Mm-hmm. And you probably couldn't give it away now.
Right.
But a pedal from an original big buff pedal or an original whatever Univibe, you can. So I don't know. Will 50 years from now the old school the Stomp or the Kemper, will they be sought after? Because
maybe
will they be the old technology that's sought after?
Yeah, I don't know. But it was an interesting point.
Will there be something else?
And the only reason I even brought it up is because how ironic is it that literally your neighbor sent you a message about Kemper, and we were literally off camera talking about modeling stuff. So we got Brian Landreth.
I just sent him a message back that we're talking about your message right now on the live show.
No, okay. Oh, you're your neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's down on the corner. He builds
acoustics.
He builds acoustics. I've never seen one yet, but he builds them.
I don't know if we want to wait a couple minutes.
No.
That says the guy who's got a day job. He's got to get up.
Well, no, I mean, I think
so.
We go and then
people
can go back and watch it later if they're so inclined.
So tonight we did something different, which is why I have papers in my hand. We thought, we've been our year anniversary will be coming up in several more months, but we've been doing this enough and getting enough traction on the videos that we're getting comments. Sorry, we get distracted by the actual current comments. But basically, Jason just kind of went and picked out some select comments. Good, not bad. Maybe one that asked if we were effing idiots. Whatever. And just kind of went through like the comments and kind of rehashed a little bit about that episode, and probably would lead to a bunch of cards for those episodes. But what we got there?
Phil is doing his big
McKnight right now. That's where everybody is.
Right.
All of our normal throng of followers.
Right.
They're all at Phil McKnight's house. He must have full-size candy bars, enticing the kids.
What do you do for a Halloween show?
I don't know. Scary guitars.
Maybe we should close it down and go watch it.
That's right. Yeah. Hey Brian, you want to join us? What is that?
Oh, Phil Mosley.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's up, Dan of New Jersey?
Oh, Phil Mosley. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what do you do for?
Oh, is that the other? Okay, that's the
guy that started doing
it. Yeah, I got you.
So it's his big Halloween show, but then he just started doing this like recently, or has he been? He might have been doing it before at another time.
Maybe. But
I just don't. What would you do for a Halloween show?
Pointy shaped guitars.
Maybe.
don't
I don't know. I'm not knocking it.
Maybe that's where Joe Harvey is, because maybe.
Why didn't we think of this?
Right, Joe Harvey might be where they're thinking it's going to be metal, right? Because what's scarier than metal? I know what's scarier than metal. Our Halloween show would feature that Ibanez fretless over there. That is the scariest thing on the planet. Oh, yes, wow, yeah, that was terrible. Wild. So yeah, we started out with some, viewer mail, viewer comments.
Phil is dressed as Alice Cooper. Well, that'd be frightening.
Nice. It would be. I saw an Alice Cooper show. That is a wild show. And he had John Five playing guitar for him, so I'm not sure I paid attention to anything else. Even though when they brought out the 40-foot Frankenstein walking around the stage, I'm still like, what's John Five doing down there? I can't even imagine. Guy playing metal on a Telecaster. So, makeup and all, that's sweet. Speaking of Halloween, we got to follow up with our buddy Brody, who hasn't chimed in yet, to see if he actually attended that costume party where you were supposed to dress as your favorite 80s female singer. I do think you would make a lovely Dee Snider.
Yeah, well.
You could maybe braid your beard into like pigtails, kind of like... Maybe not. Maybe that's just sort of a Dale Earnhardt style turn is my new phrase,
right,
which is very...
So, we would totally... Why don't you hand me, as you reminisce about dressing like women and...
Yes.
Hand me the one that came today. I was to say, Brian, your first concert in 1972. Well, unfortunately, I was not able to attend that concert because I was -1. Before
you do that, who took you to an Alice Cooper show at the age of 7, and are they behind bars now? Like who took you to that show? Or was it your parent, like your dad, or a cool uncle, or a neighborhood friend, like a brother's friend or something? Like, how do you want
that be a little frightening for a second?
How do you want, with a guillotine, the whole shebang bang. Although an Episcopal priest, who I own a couple of his guitars, he and his brothers were in a Christian band, and they opened for Alice Cooper. They were Christians. Your cousin Becky, all right. I just started high school. No money to go any concerts. I was 5. So, anyway, here we go.
This came in the mail today. And so this is for... I was born a while. This is for the Leslie Show, which is not anything, I guess, rocking. Well, it could be. But weird, kind of not around, I don't think. Not in production anymore. Or one of the Hardwire Digitech series. It has this cool little, well, yeah, it's Hardwire, but they're made by Digitech, right?
Yeah, or Digitech.
I think they're made by Digitech. The cool little...
So I have a question real quick.
Extreme performance.
Is it Dumble that puts the cover over their circuitry?
The epoxy, yeah.
That's basically... Dumble should have just done this. You could just put that on. No one will ever know. Just cover up everything. Set it the way you want it covered up. It's a secret.
Well, this is so, if you get your rig run down, nobody can steal your settings.
Right.
But, it is a TR7 tremolo rotary... And it has a whole bunch of... I don't know a whole lot about it. It has bias, duo, trem, rotary, vibro, pan, tremolo, and opto. And what's interesting is I wanted to see if it did the rotary thing because I wasn't sure. But those knobs are nice.
Yeah.
They have a
texture or like a grip. Right? Or they have other solid. I was looking at the sides. Oh, yeah, they got notches. Oh, yeah. What do I compare that to? Almost like a watch dial. You can feel the gear on the knobs.
That's weird. Interesting, because last night Ben Combs had on the guy from the super awesome Happy Time pedal show, whatever that whole name is. But I had, right before before you order something, you watch it on, you go out and you watch it, and I had just watched them demo this. So the whole time, I popped in for a little bit at the end of his live show. And the whole time I'm looking at this guy going, man, I know this guy. Well, the one I watched, it must have been a pretty old episode.
Did you go to an Alice Cooper show together when you were kids?
Yeah, we did. We went to an Alice Cooper show. Must have been a pretty old episode, and he looked a little different in the video. But I finally figured it out. The thing I can't get over about this pedal...
You might have to get up and walk over there, or not.
I don't think you could. You can see a little bit, the black... This Velcro is cut out perfectly to the end. So here's what I'm thinking. Because there's raised here, it's raised there.
Did they make it with Velcro?
I'm thinking they had to send along a Velcro
like template or something.
cut out.
Okay, yeah.
Like cut out piece that you could stick on your board and stick on this.
Yeah.
They had to.
Perfect.
It is. It's perfect.
And like you said, it's ridged around the edge there. Yeah, because that way you still see like the battery.
They had to because the Velcro you buy at a store isn't that thick.
Right.
Like.
So attention to detail. The knobs, those knobs are rock solid. And the boys are.
Yeah.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Stop talking to each other. He's a teacher. Did I tout you? He's a teacher. You won't tolerate talking in the class.
So anyway, that's the hardwire pedal. I don't know. I haven't plugged it in yet. I have no idea how it sounds. But came today.
It's a tank.
It is.
That's really cool. It's got some interesting appointments with the cover and the way the
stereo.
are. Yeah.
Oh, we'll find out.
We're going to start working on a stereo setting. So that came today as part of the Leslie thing. As far as the weekly recording went, in addition to the viewer comments, which is a segment we called You Asked for This. We asked for this. We did the third pedal. Again, if Brian will remember this, because we played my Red Witch Empress, and it was like, should I get rid of it? Detention. Yeah, that's right. And stop sticking your gum on the underside of the desk. I saw you. And put your chair on all fours. All right? That's why I'm not a teacher.
That's what it was 20 years ago.
Well, that's why I was when I was in college.
Today it's like put your phone on my desk.
Yeah, that's right. Take your earbuds out. Will you take at least one earbud out, please?
Right. I actually had that conversation today with a student.
So I had a Red Witch Empress, which is probably back there somewhere, and I was like, "Do I need this?" We tried to come up with a segment of like, "Do I need this?" And then I played it and loved it and remembered why I had it. Which
And you've bought two
not
more
only did
since
I
then.
sell it, I bought the Pentavocal Trem, and then I bought the Moon Phase phaser.
And that thing sounds great.
It's great. Like this is I'm excited for this to come out because, well, for one, we did roll reversal, which didn't go so well. But the stuff that the Beard played to demo this pedal on a Strat, he was playing Strat. It sounded great.
It has a real. It's nice.
Yeah,
It's nice.
It's a 6-way rotary. Like that's the thing. You look at these pedals. Oh, simple, 3 knobs. Well, no, he puts like a rotary dial on every one. So there's 4 different phase settings, 1 tremolo and 1 tremo phase setting. But real quick story because we got a little bit of time. It was funny when I first brought this pedal over here last week, the week before. I hadn't really played it, and so I plugged it in and I'm playing it, and Jason's sitting back on the couch and he's like, "That doesn't sound like a phaser. Like, what are you doing?" Well, I didn't realize which setting I was in. I found the one I liked the most, and it was the tremolo setting.
Right. Yeah.
So I turned my phaser into a tremolo when I have the Pentavocal Trem back there.
There's 4 phasers, a tremolo, and a tremo phase, and you land on the tremolo and dial it in. I'm going. It sounds like every other pedal you use.
Another tremolo. I guess what rotary is to this guy, trem is to me. I guess I don't know. So we did this. This will be coming out as soon as the editor chops it up.
So Brian, have you seen that pedal before? Have you heard it? He said that pedal is great. I'm wondering if he's heard the
Are you talking
Moon
about
phaser?
Were you talking about the Red Witch, or are you talking about the hardwire pedal?
Yeah. So, well, it'll take him 30 seconds to hear that, so we might not want to wait for his answer.
Oh, I'm trying not to get into another coughing fit.
So last night I was making the rounds, popping into the. Hey, Guitar Hack's here. I just noticed that. Guitar Hack, we're a little slow.
This?
And we got, yeah.
Go ahead, one question at a time. The Red Witch, yeah. Yeah, the Red Witch pedals are great. I'm still toying with getting the Titan delay, but I'm not sure if I would really use it that well. The Titan delay is 3 delays in one that you can run all into each other. And I'm not sure what I would do with that. But this is my 95 PRS Custom. It has Dragon pickups, 5-way rotary, gold hardware. One of the last groups that come out of the factory before we moved to Stevensville.
Mm-hmm.
Pickups are really, really. We've talked about this before. These pickups are really hot. 5-way rotary. So, yeah.
Which is backwards. It's counter. Like, I would think going this way would be up here, and it's not. It's back here.
Well, you and Brody both say that, but I've just gotten so used to it, I just know.
It's so backwards.
Well, it's like the Red Witch pedal. This, when you turn the velocity, which you would think was down, it goes faster. On this and the tremolo.
Yeah, it's backwards.
And we're just saying it's because they're from New Zealand and their toilets flush backwards or something. I don't know. So maybe Paul Reed Smith was dreaming up these rotary switches when he was in New Zealand. I don't know.
So last night, when I popped in, spent some time with Guitar Hack, and they got on the discussion about the Les Paul, and it's been sitting here for a couple weeks. I don't know why.
I feel like I played it.
Maybe.
Oh.
But we were talking about having that same. I'm not sure if this is the same color, but the '60s classic.
Specifically about these, did you call this something? The tuners, like green wobbly.
No, the
inlays
look
gotcha.
like he calls them green snot.
Nice. Our dear departed friend would call them mother of toilet seat.
So, and then he said Hack was looking at a PRS, one of the SE series, and I said, you can't go wrong. Like, pretty much, if it says PRS on it today,
right,
can't go wrong.
Well, because imagine, right, like, not to digress too much, but we have talked about Fireflies and Tajima, and if they can make guitars like that, what does Paul Reed Smith make, right?
Right.
And he's changed factories a couple times, and he's really chasing perfection on that side of it. That those
it's almost hard to justify a core model. Like, if I was buying my first PRS today, I would never own a core model. I think. I might own, like, the new Paul's PRS or the new... And they're doing some other, like... Didn't they come out with another, like, a semi-hollow body special in that line? So, I mean, you're still around $1,000 for those, but... When I bought the McCarty brand new... The McCarty that's not behind me. The McCarty is sitting right here. When I bought the McCarty brand new, it was $1,899, and that was in 2000.
Yeah.
And if you bought a brand new McCarty today, I bet it's $35.
Well, you're going to find out because the 35th anniversary, they're reissuing the McCarty in its original glory,
right.
With the tuners and the...
They're going back to pretty much what that was, with some adjustments. So,
yeah, there are a bunch of SEs. I'm a little snobby when it comes to that, but there are, and they're nice. I played several. I just can't get over myself and my. I mean, again, I have all these ones that are core before core was core. They were just
right.
PRSs.
They're just PRSs.
right. And I bought them pre-owned.
So,
for example,
Brian's saying check out the Swan Pash.
Yeah.
You know, telling him to check one out, which is with that one. I think we had that on the show last week. So,
I mean, since I'm never selling this, I can tell you I paid $900 for it.
Which probably wouldn't now. Okay.
Well, no, I was going to go somewhere that I'm not sure if we're in agreement to go, but I was kind of going to go there. Well, because saying about maybe the price of this and that I'm never going to sell it spurred my mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so there's to the fact that there's stuff we're going to sell.
So I think it's big news for us, right? Because we're talking about, we have a bunch of personal gear. We have gear that we've purchased for the show. We have gear that's starting to come to us now at a reduced price, or we've been gifted. We talked about Fender sending us something that we're like, how do we keep this momentum going of buying, flipping? We have pedal demos for a lot of these things we've done. So I guess truth be told, like we both had reverb pages I wrote in so much, but we just converted yours into the PJ and the Beard reverb.
Make it easy.
Because there's feedback out there and it's us. It's accurate feedback. So with that, we've launched it, and only 3 pedals are out there now, but there's going to be more. We got a pile of pedals over here we were talking about. So
3 that have been on the show.
Right. For now,
that was on the show.
The Fox Gear Rats distortion. That's
right. And I would like to get another. We did the Echoes pedal. In fact, right now that's what you're hearing here. They probably can't hear that. Seems like it got booted down a little bit. Well, but anyway, that's the Echo.
You can turn it back up because I turned it down in the demo. With the bottom right. Bottom right is the level, and I turned that down when we were doing something else.
But that's still maybe not coming through the room mics.
But other Fox Gear pedals, right? Like the Echoes, which is not winding up on reverb.
Hey
for
Joe,
now.
do you want to?
Yeah, oh yeah, wait, hold on. Hold on. Let's see, where should it be that? Sorry. I should try to come up with like a completely overdriven metal-esque. So the Rats has made it on there so far. Maybe. So he's asking you about the email he sent you, and
Well,
I have a conflict for now, but it's related to an activity that centers around Halloween, and I've heard that like the weather forecast is horrible. So I will find out what the plan is if it pours rain, because that's what the forecast says.
Okay.
Then maybe I'm free this Thursday.
If not,
the following Thursday.
you'll be free.
Yeah, but would love to do
I'm
it.
thinking that I can maybe do either one.
Yeah. So open the Reverb store, Fox Gear Rats, and then again, because we buy Love Pedals and we kind of like weren't consulting each other in the early sales. I'm like, dude, I got this red Zen drive. It's awesome. Because I saw his black one. He's like, I got a red one too. So the celebrity owned one is now on our Reverb channel, the red Zen drive, and then kind of the same thing with the Amp 11. We both wound up with an Amp 11, and so again, the celebrity owned one, it will be on our channel. And then we kind of decided tonight we both have the Monkey Fists. And I think you've enjoyed your Monkey Fist way more than I have, so my Monkey Fist might wind up out there. Doesn't matter to you whose they are, but that's kind of what we're thinking about. Like, where do we have duplicates?
The duplicates are going. And I guess if you're watching this on those, there would be. If you're watching if you would have interest in any of those,
yeah,
go to the Reverb channel and make an offer. Because I mean, there's a little bit of play with it. Maybe there might not be a lot of play in the Fox Gear one, because I think that's pretty much what we got it for. But I might be able to do a little better for somebody watching this.
Yeah.
Say, per live show, you said to make an offer. Don't make a $10 offer.
Right.
Oh,
your trade on your end. Okay, whatever. I think that's what you mean. Yeah, we're gonna keep. We're probably not going to pimp out every pedal that we're selling on this, but we just wanted to announce that we're doing that. But we might, like, maybe because, we're seeing the same loyal people, and if you guys are on Reverb and you ask us, maybe because you're...
Right, I mean...
You're looking at me like, really, that we're doing? Although you just basically said that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm reiterating what you
people
said.
that are supporting the channel, if I can do a little better than we have it on Reverb, I would do that for them. Right. Because those are the people that... I mean, basically, if we get rid of those, then we can turn that money into something else. I'd like to do more of the Fox Gear pedals, but I'm not... I like them. I think they're really nice. I really like this Echoes pedal. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to use the Rat pedal.
Right. It was cool to try.
That doesn't sound good, but I'm never going to use it, so I'd rather turn that into something to put...
Because we've talked about before, playing in the church setting, that we can bust out a fuzz every once in a while, but you went from, like, no fuzz, probably, right, to, like, 5.
Right, so you guys are gonna make me feel better about my pet. Yeah, Hack, what's really funny, if you go into our channel and go back to one of the very first episodes. So anything, it's only started in January. There's 4 pedals up on the wall, and now we look back there and it's 2 deep. And
it's kind of I was about to say that. Well, not all of those were purchased, but oh my gosh, yeah. If I really start. Yes. No.
Stop.
Yes.
My wife watches.
Yes. This is my side. Yes. So 3/4 of the pedals on the right side. It's not his and hers, or mine and his.
No, they're mixed up.
But of the ones I identified on that side that are mostly mine, they were purchased when we started the show. So we have to kind of support our own habit, and hopefully as time goes on, some of you guys, because we're not doing the whole Patreon thing, because we're not sure we're big enough or whatever, but at some point, guys, we've seen you guys every week, some of these that we might be, gifted from major pedal manufacturers, maybe you get a really sweet deal on those. But
amp? He Hack's got a new amp coming. Dan in New Jersey, back to basics with a Rat and a Big Muff.
Lori has Mrs. Beard, Bubbler Mom. Those were my pedals. That's why he told me to stop, but they were mine. And my wife doesn't watch.
I haven't bought a single piece of guitar gear And since we started the show, it's all been stuff that's sitting around.
Well, my wife,
I'm not lying at all.
my wife, who wanted to just declutter at our house, she basically said, anything you find and you sell and list on Facebook Marketplace, for the most part, you can keep that and turn that into a gear fund. And that's what I've done. I think I had like $500 just from selling, tiki torches and whatever, just junk. So that. What's that?
This show tonight. I haven't bought anything since the show tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I had a friend.
That might not be 100% true.
I had a friend one time that was at a party at my house, and his wife left, and he was still there, and he kept drinking, right? And so she's like, "Are you keep drinking?" Like he goes, "I have the same glass I had when you left." It's just been filled up 12 times.
Nice.
Okay.
So did Hack tell us what amp he's getting?
I don't know, but Brian just gave us the secret double handshake to Keeley to get 15% off.
What's that?
Next to the top to 15% from Keeley pedals.
Yeah.
Canucks. Nice. Yep.
I don't think Hack told us the amp, did he? Or did we miss it because you were...
Because I was...
My wife was busting me.
I don't know that he did. Yeah, because Brian Landreth asked him too. He's keeping it a secret. He's building anticipation.
Right. His new amp coming.
He's good at this. We should take a page. I should. I'm just like... loose lip sync ships. I forgot what brilliant thing I was about to say. Probably wasn't that brilliant. Oh, well... if you like Les Pauls, there's one there. But if you like Les Pauls, we've been talking about a friend of ours, and he's been commenting on our social media, and he's a real life friend. We went to visit a music store on Saturday morning. He lives down the street. We all converged on the music store and had a conversation. So we're getting closer to get him visit here. Yeah. He's got 9 Les Pauls, and we've kind of have him talked into bringing 3 to 5, probably 3, maybe 4. He's got everything from like an original 68 to like the Axis. Like he's got like a. So he's gonna bring 3. Diverse, right? He's gonna bring 3 that he thinks are pretty unique that he really likes, and then maybe the 68 and something else. So if we keep talking about a field trip, we've actually had a conversation face to face. Probably like after Thanksgiving when his life calms down and kids sports and stuff. So that'll be coming up.
The Harley Benton.
Yeah, Guitar Hack, and they're legit too. And he doesn't have just Les Pauls. He's got a few PRSs. He's got like a '96 Ultra Strat. Like, he's got some stuff. Like that's why we wanted to talk to him. We thought, well, we'll just start with his Les Pauls because.
And he can play too, right?
Yeah, he can play. Yeah, and he's a really nice guy. Yeah. It's kind of like you want to not like him because he's like a really nice. He's got great guitars and he's a good player, but you can't not like him.
It's like Joe Bonamassa is what you're saying. You want to not like him,
right.
But
although a lot of people don't like Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah, but they're just jealous.
So what guitar? Yeah, 9 Les Pauls. Yep. Yeah, well, we got our first Keeley pedal. It's back there, the Dyno My Roto.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Like you try to plug them in just a little bit to kind of get a flavor. Like you were really nice and waited to open the Fender one in front of me, but like the other ones, So Keeley, yeah. Keeley might actually get me to play a compressor. I don't know. That's coming up on another show.
Is there...
What? What else?
There was nothing else over there, right?
No, just the 3 that are currently listed.
So I said that we have the Harley Benton guitars coming.
Yeah, soon, right?
Yeah, it should be...
Did it hit the States yet? Or the guy is shipping...
It looks like it hit the States.
Okay.
It looks... So, I was figuring earliest it could get here would be Wednesday, latest would be Thursday or Friday. Whenever day it gets here, we'll try and do the unboxing, depending on what's going on. If we can squeeze like 20 minutes in to get together and do it, just because it's cool. I mean, it's the new double cut Junior.
Yeah. Single.
I don't think there's a lot out about them except for the stuff that was out at NOM. Guitar Hack, we had no Keeley pedals either, nothing, and we thought that was a shame. And so with this Leslie, like Pat's probably tired of hearing about it. You might be tired. the whole idea was like, could we take facts and do like a deep dive? Like, it's not just a deep dive in like. We just wanted to see if we could do every Leslie pedal.
Well, we talked about
pretty much
to a degree. That's probably a known universe of pedals.
Right.
I don't know what the final number we've come up with, and we've actually talked about consulting with Josh Scott at some point. Have we missed anything?
Right.
But you're talking. I'm just gonna make this number up: 20 pedals, 25 that are like the big, like kind of well-knowns, not the stepsisters of Leslie who can.
No, well, and it's even less than that. It's probably about 15 to 20.
So if you're going to try to do a comprehensive...
15 to 20, and then you start putting in like the Moors and the Donners and the things that have like a Leslie simulator built in. Right. It's probably not even 15 if you're really talking just strict, like really this only does Leslie and it does it well. Right. It's probably not even 15.
And the ones, some of the people that brought the, your Stevie Ray Vaughns and your Warren Haynes and Peter Frampton, like the ones those guys use, more or less. Mm-hmm. And actually trying to get our hands on a real Leslie and maybe even a Fender branded Leslie guitar specific speaker.
There's a Leslie for sale in New Jersey.
Dan, where do you live in New Jersey?
Can you help us out, Dan?
You probably told us that before, but like...
There's a Leslie for sale in New Jersey that we really would like to get our hands on, but it's just too far to travel right now.
Yeah, I thought, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Dan, we have the Strymon Lex.
Right over there, yeah.
But we do not have the Mobius. So, we had to put some parameters on it, and the one parameter was, well, it's not fair because we have some lower expense, some more inexpensive pedals coming that have Leslie as a second. Like even the Keeley has Leslie, but also has chorus, and the Love pedal has Leslie, but also has chorus and vibrato. Yeah. So there's we have some of those. We have some of the Moore Donner style, but I drew the line at and maybe down the road we'll add them. But I drew the line at Mobius because it's $400 or $500. Sure. Unless Strymon wants to send me one for free. And
it's not that we haven't asked.
The other one is the H9.
Yeah.
Josh Smith uses the H9 for his Leslie. And that's a great, but again, very expensive.
Amp Tweaker Swirl Pool.
I reached out to them, Brian. I didn't hear anything back. I did send them an email, and Brian sent me that. And it looks cool. It's more of a, what was it, Brian? A tremolo and a... something you'd probably really like, but it was two. Well, you could mix them together to get that same.
Well, we're getting pretty deep into this, but we literally had one of our first kind of quote business meetings. We were at our local coffee shop on Saturday morning, just trying to talk through some loose end stuff because we try to hold this time to not gab because as you can tell I talk.
Steve Whitney in the house. All right, keep going.
That's fine. So we sat there and talked, and we're still. I think that The criteria for the Leslie show is kind of like Jell-O that's not been in the refrigerator or not been in the refrigerator for long. Sort of a little movement in it, just to try to figure out, definitely make sure we get the really famous ones the best we can, and then kind of from there.
Because we're missing a couple of the really big ones right now.
And some of them were surprising. We showed you on another live stream if you were here, that Korg G4 that I could see when he sent me a picture, I thought he was joking because we don't really like that kind of stuff. And he sent me a picture, but anyway, James Brown. Oh, Brian, where is James Brown? Anyway,
okay. James Brown is the guy that does the Amp Tweaker.
Okay.
But who said
the Joel Osteen?
What was? Oh, Tom's River is where
Dan. Not that it's going to help us at all. I was going to go to the airport in Trenton, I thought, and that would have put me within an hour of where this thing was, and I didn't end up going to the airport. So we're just trying to lock this thing down because it's a really good price for what it is, right? But it's 3 hours away, and we both have semi-lives. At least one of us does. The Pimsol from Full Tone. I've heard of them. I haven't tried one. Is that? But see, now here's the question I have, and I'm going to ask the expert here.
Wait, the Pimsol.
But is that more? See, because you kind of get into the Univibe, you get into where is the like that's the other thing that we're trying to like define on this particular
right. So
journey
we're trying
that
to
we're
stay
on.
away from Univibe, so that I mean there has to be like a detour. So you start with what's a Leslie speaker. So if we're looking at that Leslie sound, we have to start at there. What's a Leslie speaker and how do they work? Univibe was an attempt to make a Leslie speaker in a box like that we could carry around, so you don't have to carry a Leslie, and it's a giant failure.
For that,
right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's does it sound like a Leslie? Absolutely not. Does it sound like something really cool? Yeah, Jimmy made it like if Jimmy hadn't, somebody else
it
would
was
have
the
made
Reese's
it cool.
peanut butter cup. It was a beautiful accident.
Right. It was really good. And so, but then you have, because to have that world in there, you'd have to start getting into like the JHS, was it the Unicorn, and then the Dry Bell Micro Vibe, and the Voodoo Labs Micro Vibe, and I have four.
You got the Vibe machine back there, the dry
Right.
milk, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I have probably 4 or 5 Uni Vibes sitting around here, but then you have to get into that's like a whole
Right. So we're trying
That's
to have
an even crazier world than Leslie. There's probably
right. And that's kind of what we're
twice
trying
as
to
many.
avoid. And we as we sat and talked, and you unpack this thing and slice it and dice it 100 ways, we could do Leslie and her stepsisters for the rest of our YouTube career. So Brian Landreth, that's some pretty high praise, man. The 5150 and all the PV Classic, because as we've talked about before, there's a Classic 30 over there. There's a Classic 30 head over there. I had a 5150 original for a while. So if James Brown is from that pedal company, that's great.
Yeah, he built some nice amps. So, Stephen, has anybody seen the Joyo pedal does the same thing as the Full Tone does? No, but all those guys are building. Well, Kayleen just put out one that's supposed to be the King of Tone for $60.
I'll be buying that one. You got more than $60 of options in one of your upgrade options in one of your accounts. One of them.
So,
yeah, it's funny, man. Like we could go down a rabbit trail there too, because again, we've talked before that we spend time in the $58 in the worship space because we play at church, But we have a diverse background and stuff. But it's so funny to hear like Full Tone doesn't get much love, but like if you go watch one of Josh Scott's and Full Tone's name comes up, you got nothing but good things to say about it.
I had a original full drive for a long time and never could get with it. And then I had the OCD.
Yeah.
And could never get with it. So both of those pedals for me didn't work. And I had kind of started to write it off, but then we got that Super Trem. And the Super Trem sounds awesome. So I don't know, for some reason his overdrives don't work for me, but like you like the other ones.
Oh, look at that. That Leslie is 30 minutes away from me. So even if we got someone to lock it down and secure it so it doesn't go away, like if we get the buyer.
Well, there's 2 in Jersey.
Okay. Well, this is the one that.
This is at Red Banks.
So double check, because I must have just hopped on and looked.
So Dan, there's 2 in Jersey. One's at Red Banks, and it's listed for I think $325.
350, 325, yeah.
And I think if that one is in the $500 range, I think that's the other one.
But keep looking because. Anyway, it's just one of those things where we kind of. They're hard to find. That's really priced well. We're just running into some logistics problems. That if someone that we've known for several weeks under a screen name wants to go pick it up,
Yeah, right.
that we know that it's like not going to get resold. Of course, it'll be on Reverb the next day for $400 under Dan of New Jersey. But
Well,
okay, see, he's only 40 minutes away. We might have to
40 minutes.
chat offline or something. I don't know. I might be suggesting things that we're not ready to do, but maybe I am suggesting things we're ready to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just any way you look at it. Even if you had somebody you could meet halfway, it's still a 3-hour round trip.
Right.
Oh,
more than that. I think it's 3 hours one way, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Even
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
had
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
you could
yeah,
meet
yeah, sure, I got
halfway
you.
or something.
I wasn't doing the math.
Right.
The hamster was running in a different direction. I only got one hamster up here, so. Yeah, I don't know, Dan of New Jersey. I don't know if you ever wind up towards the central Pennsylvania area in your travels, but Anyway, we've become a one trick pony.
This is. Hi, meet PJ. He's good at like figuring out how to logistically get things done with other people doing them.
It's just one of my gifts. It's a large part of my charm, though. Exactly. Hold it for ransom. Exactly. There'll be like letters cut out from various magazines, and a ransom note will be sent to us. Cut out letters.
It'll just be like a piece of Tolex show up in the middle.
Yeah.
You recognize this Tolex. Right. If you'd like to see the rest of the.
How about some Chianti and fava beans? Yeah, there's Terry.
Yeah, there's Terry. Has that little bit of that, little bit of that Fender.
Oh, yeah. The pinwheel, right? So yeah, I might have brokered a deal. Philly's closer.
This is all. I'm not in it, Dan. Let PJ work.
We're gonna take the money, put it in a brown paper bag. I'm gonna drop it in a trash can outside the Trenton airport, and then we'll both get arrested. Oh yeah.
This is Peter's cursing.
Yeah. But Dan has an SUV.
This is weird. All she worries about is the Christmas budget.
Because she's a crafty one herself.
Can we put some more lights up?
Yeah. Can we tell our Amazon? Well, I made the mistake one time. They have the Amazon device, which I always call it the Amazon device because I'm not sure where she is and I don't want to change it. But they had a Christmas setting, right? Amazon device turn on Christmas.
Yeah. And
you told me that, and I said it one day, and like things like started to do weird things. Like the vacuum started, and the train went around the thing. The best thing was Christmas Vacation came on the television. That was the best part of it.
So, okay, so where are we at here? We talked about.
Well, you gave him a really small sneak peek of that Fender pedal.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really.
No.
We hadn't plugged it in yet. We opened it last week, like, here it is, and then we did plug it in, and so we have the ramp on kind of fast. But I'm even with that ramp kind of fast. It
takes a while to get there.
slow speed or is that on the fast? I don't remember. It's a little too much.
Is that drive set anywhere near a sane to play a couple reads?
Sounds, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, that's better for cold side. It was probably the level was probably a little hot, like you said, on the effect part of it. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. What's not to like about it?
It so much. Well, now I don't understand. It's like stopped.
You broke it. Grady broke it.
I almost hit the brakes somehow.
You didn't broke it, you braked it.
No, enough about that. It's there. Alright, so anything else? What time is it? About 10:15, so I mean we can start thinking if we're running out of stuff. Do you any questions for us? Anything that we're missing? I mean, we don't want to. If people want to go over and see Alice Cooper too, you know, I mean, we can understand that. Sean Zimmerman just popped in. Hey, Sean. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we...
No, we talked about the Reverb store. We talked about the...
Well, Pat has this whole box of like goofy pedals over here.
I do.
Talking about the Reverb store, there's going to be some goofy stuff up. He has, and we played around with them a little bit tonight, and they're worth mentioning. So you have a pedal that does... Capoing. So you can capo your guitar 1 through 12 with the push of a button.
And when you get to 12, not just a capo, you can play lead. It's crazy.
And then there was one that does drop tune.
All the way down to a whole...
Which is kind of like the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it goes
down. The capo
down,
goes up, this one goes down.
You got those two together. Woo!
And then there was one that does...
We didn't even do it yet. There's one that's called the Bomber, which has a pedal that you can set for thirds or fifths. Or here's what happened, and here's what we're going to do to everyone else. A friend of mine had the capo pedal. I'm like, I'll try it. I bought it from him. Then I went down this whole Morpheus path of the company, and then, good golly, I stumbled across Johnny Highland playing all of those pedals. And I'm like, I need that pedal. No, what I need to do is play like Johnny Highland is what I need to do. So I'm going to get everybody in the reverb world. I'm going to put the links to the pedals that made the videos that made me want to buy those pedals.
There you go.
I'm going to unload them really quick.
And then there's the Dan Electro sitar pedal.
Oh, yeah, the Ravish. Mm-hmm. It's, Brian, it's PJ and the Beard. Really, really original, right? Just yeah. So there's 3 Morpheus pedals, a Ravish over there. I mean, I've got a Ditto Looper 2. I've got, oh my gosh,
there's just a whole bunch. Some of his stuff. This guy has like things that haven't been open. Like the Ditto Looper 2 hasn't been open. No. The capo, that really popular capo.
Thalia, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't.
So I can't. The capo one that's a little hard to explain. But the other part was I had, for a brief period window of time, I had more money than sense. I went from like having not bought a lot of guitar gear to having a situation where I had a little bit more disposable income and I disposed of it, and maybe not properly. So now I'm trying to recoup some of that to turn it into things for the show or for my pedal board or whatever. So
yeah. So what's the PJ and the Beard?
Yep. Yeah, so it's going to take a little while. Jason took the time to put 3 pedals on there and to do really good descriptions and links to the videos that we did.
What's Terry's question? What question is Terry answering?
I think they were talking about tube rattle from I think. Brian Landeth was talking about problem with tubes rattling. If you could get down a little bit more, I think. The other way, but anyway.
We missed the tube rattle question.
I don't know if it was a question more than another sidebar, which is fine. Because when you go to a party at somebody's house, you just don't talk to the host the whole time. Well, we do like housewarming gifts though. If you come over. Bottle of wine.
Like a Leslie.
Yeah. Like throw a Leslie in the back of your SUV and I'll meet you in Philly. But we can go to Pat or Gino's and get a cheesesteak. Or somewhere better than that.
Brian has tube rattle in this combo. We've noticed that especially the Classic 30 over there it rattles.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole cage thing you can buy for that, but if you turn it up loud enough, you don't have to worry about it.
It's like that squeak in the car. Like it goes away when you turn the radio up loud enough.
Right, you just turn up the amp louder if it's rattling. That's all we're saying.
I've got a little tube rattle in my Mesa Transatlantic 30, but I think it needs 2 tubes for one. But... All right, well, see, yeah, well, maybe... Terry, do you live anywhere near New Jersey?
See, this is why I can't play Les Balls. Because they have that, like, I'm so used to the PRS with one volume knob.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we should figure out a way to do that, like in some kind of live circle,
Yeah, that'd be
or
fun.
internet live.
We need to have like a, what do you call it, like a meetup,
Yeah.
like a big, everybody get together and jam. Wow, that's cool. Thanks, Terry, for those kind words, man.
Oops, so long. There you go.
You could have jumped into. You know that song, Down by the River? Probably didn't know. Somebody got it, knew right away.
Yeah,
Somebody knew right away that that's a Neil.
I know about a guy in a van down by the river.
So, Michael Anthony Smith, who is a local radio station DJ and used to run an open mic show where he'd have local bands come play their CDs and talk to them. And I'd love to get him to stop in some night.
He played one of our CDs on the radio. Brody and I's band.
All right, same.
It was Mutual Admiration Society, so it was MAS. He's like, oh, Michael Anthony Smith.
So
Yeah,
he
great
posted a thing today about the Neil Young album Decade. He's like, sometimes, greatest hits albums are greatest hits. You lose a lot. But the Neil Young greatest hits Decade album, saying that kind of transcends the greatest hit album thing. Right, yeah. So, anyway, I saw that post and I don't think Down by the River's on that album, but, anyway.
Yeah, so I don't know. That probably,
Waiting for Just As I Am.
Yeah.
There's so many good Pink Floyd tunes that use that. Oh my gosh. And then you get into, like, because Gilmour uses. If you guys are into Pink Floyd, and I'm sure I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know if they're into Pink Floyd, but that Gilmourish website, have you ever seen that? There's a guy that runs a webpage called Gilmourish. And he breaks down, like, every era of David Gilmour's sound and tone and what pedals he's using and what pedals get that. And if you want to, like, if you go do research on a Univibe, he'll have, like, his list of Univibes and they'll be rated and, pros and cons. And it is, like, this huge wealth of information. And he'll do, like, episodes where he's like, all right, how do you get the sound in this first part of this song or whatever, and he'll have the pedals out and the guitar out, and he's using like a real, like a high watt or whatever. It's a crazy website. The guy's like knows his like, if you're into Pink Floyd, you don't know about Gilmourish, yeah.
Hey, Dan in New Jersey, I hear there's a high watt amp in a warehouse in South Jersey. Could you?
See, I can't ever get with that. Too.
Maybe we have to. Oh yeah, Tim Pierce.
Yeah, Gilmourish is a deep dive. It's like let's take a look at Pink Floyd.
You need one of those helmets.
Like 20 years later, he's still looking.
You need one of the helmets with the breathing apparatus. Never get to the bottom.
I'm dying.
Getting all choked up talking about Gilmour.
Right, how about it? So yeah, man, he's very cool. And he can make it sound like a. And he knows, like, well, this was a rotary, this was a Univibe, this was a flanger, this was a flanger and a chorus with a delay and a tape delay and a. It's crazy. All right, so wish you were here. Terry, I wish I was there too.
But Brian, would we have to have every head bowed and every eye closed? We'll all fall asleep.
Does something about.
Just as I am. That's the church version of Just I Am. Just as I am. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Kanye West.
Yeah, whew, man.
Let's not talk about Kanye West.
I've only seen the periphery of that. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like,
I can't even get there. So,
Nope, Dwight.
hey Dwight, you're checking in just in time for us to check out.
That's right. The vacuum cleaners have started. People are wiping down the counters. The lights are being dimmed.
Well, we'll give you a quick drink.
That's right. We can scoop what's on the bar into a glass for you. Here you go.
So I think, yeah, it is about. So I mean, as always, guys, you know, we get over here and we record throughout the evening and hang out and do our thing, and then at some point in time, we thought it was cool to turn on the live camera and just sit here and talk to you. And so we're so glad that you stop in and hang out with us. That's awesome. You know, for whatever time it is that you hang out, I mean, you know, these live shows, I've been checking them out more since we've been doing it, and they're fun. Once you're there for a while and get to know people, it's kind of cool to know the people that are in the comments, and we like to see some of you guys that are coming back. That's awesome. But with that said, like PJ said, I got to get up. You probably sit here all night. I got to get up in the morning, so we cannot bend combs at the night. Or Guitar Hack, you guys are great at like sticking around for hours and hours on end, but I think we gotta bail. So if you haven't subscribed yet, we really appreciate it because it is making that does help things to happen.
Yeah,
it does help cool things to happen. So that would be cool. Do whatever it is that we have to do, like the videos and all that. You know, the other thing we never mention is, while we're self-promoting, Reverb stores and stuff, is Instagram and Facebook. So there's an Instagram page and Facebook page where we're posting some content, more pictures of like the stuff that's coming in and stuff.
Yeah, more Instagram. We'll do Instagram and link it to Facebook. We're not big diatribes about anything, just like little short blasts.
So thanks, Terry. We're glad you would stop by. And who else said, you know, Dan, Dwight. You know, it's kind of cool. You know, sometimes it's cool. You look at cats like who'd you say earlier?
Phil McKnight.
Phil McKnight. Or Peter Thorne. You look at their channels, they do a live stream, they have 500 people, and there's like, come. And that's cool. Mm-hmm. But there is something to be said to hanging out with 5 or 6 other people that are actively chatting, too. Like, you can actually kind of keep up with the conversation a little bit. So, that's cool, too. So, we're not trying to get any bigger overnight, but, you know, we would like you to subscribe.
Yeah. Tell a friend.
Other than that, anything?
No. Bedtime.
All right. I'm going to let PJ sign off as I go over to shut this.
I just know I turned the delay up and turned the mod on the core on that and got a soul-driven exotic effects. I have no idea, but it's going to be short.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Brian, thank you for coming with your little wrench. Whatever that means.
Well, he's the moderator.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Dan's
got tools.
If Dan picks up a Leslie and delivers it 3 hours away, we could...
Could make it, yeah.
I'm not even sure how we gave that one to Brian.